I gave them everything. And when I needed them the most, they gave me nothing. Not even a call, not even a message, just silence. And I'm not talking about strangers. I'm talking about my own family. For 11 years, 11 long years, I sent them $2,800 every single month, without fail. Birthdays, emergencies, school fees, hospital bills, you name it, I covered it. I became the person everyone depended on, the strong one, the successful one, the one who could fix anything with money. And I did it willingly, because I believed that's what family means. It all started when I got my first stable job. I was in my mid-20s, finally earning well, finally feeling like I could give back. My parents had struggled all their lives, and I wanted to make things easier for them. My brother wasn't doing great financially. Oh, and his wife, my sister-in-law, was always complaining about how hard things were. So I stepped in. At first, it was small, a few hundred here and there. Then it became regular. Then it became expected. Eventually, it became $2,800 a month. Every month. No questions asked. No conditions. I told myself, it's okay. They're family. Years passed. Promotions came. My income grew, and so did their expectations. If I was ever even a day late, I'd get messages. Not asking if I was okay, but asking where the money was. I ignored the red flags. I told myself they were just stressed. My sister-in-law would call me and say things like, "You know, we're really struggling this month. Can you send a little extra?" And I would, every time, because I thought they would do the same for me. But here's the truth I didn't want to see. They never asked how I was doing. They never checked if I was okay. I was just their solution. Then life hit me, hard. One random Tuesday morning, I was called into a meeting. The kind of meeting you already know is bad before it even starts. Budget cuts. Downsizing. We're sorry. All those words that sound polite but feel like a punch in the chest. Just like that. I lost my job. I remember walking out of the building, holding that envelope, feeling like the ground had disappeared under me. 11 years of stability, gone, and for the first time in over a decade. I couldn't send that $2,800. I thought, it's okay. This is when family shows up. So I called them. I told them everything. I didn't hide it. I said, I lost my job. I might need a little time to get back on my feet. There was a pause. A long, uncomfortable pause, and then my sister-in-law said, "Oh, that's tough." That's it? No, how can we help? No, do you need anything? Just, that's tough. I waited for more. It never came. A few days passed. I didn't hear from anyone, not my parents, not my brother, not even a text, so I reached out again. This time I asked, carefully, I might need some help for a month or two, just until I figure things out. Another pause, then my brother said, Things are tight here too. Tight. After 11 years of me sending them money, things were suddenly tight. I didn't argue. I didn't beg. I just said, okay. And that's when the silence started. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into a month. No calls, no check-ins, nothing. The same people who used to message me every other day disappeared. It was like I only existed when I was useful. I remember sitting alone in my apartment one night, staring at my phone, wondering if I had imagined everything. Was this really the same family I had supported for over a decade? And that's when it hit me. I wasn't family to them. I was a bank account. And once the money stopped, so did the relationship. I cried that night, not because of the money, but because of the realization. 11 years. Gone. Just like that. But here's the part they didn't expect. I didn't break. Something inside me changed. I stopped reaching out. I stopped waiting for their calls. Instead, I focused on myself for the first time in years. I updated my resume. I applied to jobs. I cut back on expenses. I learned how to live without constantly giving, and slowly, I started to rebuild. It wasn't easy. There were days I doubted myself. Days I missed the illusion of having a close family. But I kept going. And then, 3 months later, I got a new job. Not just any job, a better one. Higher pay, better environment, more respect. For the first time in a long time, I felt valued. And guess what happened next? The messages came back. Hey, how have you been? We miss you. Why don't you call anymore? And then, the real one. We've been struggling again. Can you start sending the monthly support? I stared at that message for a long time. A part of me wanted to respond immediately. That old version of me, the one who always gave. But I wasn't her anymore, so I replied. Calm, simple, clear. I can't. That was it. No explanation, no apology, just, I can't. They didn't like that. My sister-in-law called me selfish, said I had changed, said I was forgetting my responsibilities. My brother said, family helps each other. And that's when I finally said what I had been holding in for years. I did help for 11 years, and when I needed you, you were silent. There was no response, because they knew it was true. After that, the calls stopped again. But this time, it didn't hurt, because now I understood. Family isn't about how much you give, it's about how much you care. And they never cared. Not really. So I made a decision. I cut them off financially. Completely. No more monthly transfers. No more emergency funds. Nothing. And for the first time in my adult life, I kept my money. I invested it. I saved it. I used it to build a life that didn't revolve around being someone else's safety net. And you know what? I'm happier. Not because I have more money, but because I have peace. I no longer feel used. I no longer feel obligated. I finally feel free. And if you're listening to this right now, and you're in a similar situation, let me tell you something. I wish someone had told me years ago, helping your family is beautiful, but being used by them is not. There's a difference, a big one. And sometimes, the hardest thing you'll ever have to do is stop giving. Not because you don't care, but because you finally care about yourself. So no, I don't send $2,800 a month anymore. I don't get those constant messages. I don't play the role they assigned me. And honestly, I wouldn't go back, even if I could, because losing my job didn't ruin my life. It revealed the truth, and that truth saved me.